Legend of War here, and today we're raiding another Doomstack, this time covering the Keeper of Secrets Doomstack, which is quite funny because it's kind of what I wanted to see next, and it just so happened that I checked my emails and boom, there it was. So that was quite good timing. But anyway, so it's within the Legion of Chaos, but I imagine it would work pretty similarly with Slaanesh. The big downside doing it with Slaanesh is that you won't have the Plague Ridden to heal you. So we've got one of each type of undivided or divided hero. So we got this one here is primarily for generating unlimited winds of magic. He's got the chromatic tome in here, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, there it is. Which that'll still provide you with unlimited winds of magic even after the bug has been fixed. So that's good to put in there, but I'm not going to really make use of it in this battle. Got a Aluris in here, which I'm not entirely sure what she's for. Probably just to provide some support with abilities. Same thing with the Blood Reaper, because they've got various things that they can do to boost units in an area. And this one's obviously there for healing. You could have put the Demon Prince in command of it and maybe gone undivided for the extra physical resistance to get it up to 35%. That definitely would have helped, but using a Keeper of Secrets I think is fine as well. Alright, we're going up against essentially 3 full stack armies of Cathay. If we rush at them at the beginning here, we could easily beat them before the rest of them come in, so I've got to wait for them to come in or else it just isn't a proper test. Also, the Bloodletting being inactive is reducing their stats slightly. So if you went all the way up to here, actually doesn't make any real difference to their combat ability, just gets rid of that debuff. And let's just jump in here and see how it goes. So with this particular Greater Demon, we've tested out the what's it called, the Bloodthirsters. They were really good. We did a Lord of Change Doomstack one, but that was with Kairos Fateweaver, and it did well, but it was relying too heavily on Kairos. And I don't think that a Great Unclean One Doomstack is viable at all, but if someone wants to send one in, you have to send it up against Cathay. Alright, it'd be interesting to see how it goes. Or Kislev. Cathay would be better, because I think a Great Unclean One Doomstack would work pretty well against Ogres, because they don't have that much in the way of using missiles units effectively. But everyone else, I think, would absolutely beat the crap out of Great Unclean Ones. They're too slow. Alright. So we got Vanguard deployed for the entire army. I'm going to wait for them to get set up. If we just rush at them, it's going to be way too easy here. I also counted that there are 4... was it 5? 4 or 5 Terracotta Sentinels. So less than yesterday's video. What, 11 Terracotta Sentinels? But we'll see how we go. Just get a feel for how well they do. So just let them get set up. What I'm going to do is just charge in brainlessly and just try to kill them quick. But we don't want to fight them too close to the edge of the map, because it'll just they'll just run off the battlefield really quickly. Wait, weren't we in Cathay? It looks like I'm in Khorne's realm. Oh, I see. I think we were on the Chaos Way side of it. It still kind of looks like we're in the Chaos realm. No, not the realm of Chaos, like, I don't know. Chaos Wastes. Just let them get organized. Yeah, because if we fought them too close to the edge there, it's definitely to our advantage. Alright, we've also got these things like the Bane Spear. That's a very good item. I'm not going to use it in this battle here, because that is not something that everyone's going to get in their campaign, and it's not a test of the Keeper of Secrets. Like, we could do so much damage with that. See, a lot of these things with these Doomstacks, I have to decide when to use something and when not to use something to properly test it. And oftentimes people disagree with me with what I do, but usually when I'm doing something or not doing something, it's just down to if I don't use it, I feel like it takes away from the test of these particular units. Or if it makes the battle too easy and isn't a required test. Like, for example, the Life Wizard with the Demogryph Knights. A lot of people didn't agree with my decision to withdraw the unit. But the reason I did it is because if I didn't do it, the battle would have been too easy. That was the problem. Whereas in another battle, I don't withdraw the Life Wizard. Like, it seems inconsistent. But you got to keep in mind that we don't go up against the same army every single time. I've got to be somewhat inconsistent because the situations are not consistent either. It always just has to be an appropriate test of the particular unit that we're testing out. That's the most important thing. You know, whether or not I use magic depends on whether or not I have to use it as a crutch. Alright, let's see how we go here. Alright, send these two in with them. Because, yeah, if it's like a Keeper of Secrets Doomstack, right? But 90% of the work is done by the Iridescent Horror, then why do I even need the Keeper of Secrets? As an example, right? Oh, look at this. He got all the summons. Huh. I was wondering if that was possible. And he managed it. All of them. He's gone down the undivided route, and that's pretty impressive. He does have essentially the entire map, though. But yeah, it is possible to do that. I'll explain how to do that at the end of the battle. Mounts powers in our favor. Okay, we got these abilities here we can pop down. Getting extra physical resistance and area effects. So that's what this one here is for, the Locus of Grace. That's really good. And the extra melee defense. Right, so you got melee defense with that one, melee attack with this one here. That's a really good combination. Look at those stats. It's pretty good. 2 Helm of Discord, so you can cycle through them. But yeah, I definitely want to avoid using this. That's such a powerful ability. You know what? You're a Keeper of Secret. Why aren't you going in there? So I understand why you're in the army, but you'll make the battle too easy if I use you too much. Okay. We're definitely taking damage faster than, say, the Soul Grinder Doomstack from yesterday. Probably because these guys don't have barrier. Some more buffs in there. So yeah, I also don't want to rely too heavily on the summons here because doing this is ridiculous. Like, you're just not going to do that in your average campaign. In order to do this, you really have to conquer the entire map. Again, I'll explain it a little bit later. But so far, they're inflicting a good amount of damage. But yeah, I think he chose a really good choice with the complementing abilities here, because there's no point giving a unit like ridiculous amounts of melee attack, because if you've got essentially 50 points melee attack above your enemy, you've got the highest point. So you want to have both melee attack and melee defense so that you're hitting hard, but also not getting hit hard in return. Which is really important for the army to stay around for a long time. This was a problem with, I remember a Doomstack that I did a little while ago with the Minotaurs, with Taurox. I focused way too heavily on melee attack, and they didn't have enough melee defense. So they hit really hard, but they didn't last very long. So, reinforcements. Okay, they've got about one army still to come in. Also, with this kind of Doomstack here, it's really important we use it in the sort of like the most brainless way possible. Because if we can win a battle like this against essentially 3 full stacks of Cathay without really putting any serious effort in, that's a good Doomstack. Especially if we're, to some degree, putting our hands tied behind our back a little bit. I'll tell you one thing though, they are much quicker at taking out the Terracotta Sentinels than the Soul Grinders. Much, much quicker. Okay, this one here is instead of max heal.
irresistible. The Prince of Pleasures caress. The base.
Yeah, so they're killing faster, but they're also taking damage a lot quicker. Because the Soul Grinder Doomstack, it definitely lasted a good amount of time. I think this one here is doing too much damage to us. How much has it done so far? Yeah, we're gonna need to get rid of that. We don't need that many.
Exalted keeper of secrets. All for the prince.
Paramour of Slaanesh.
And also we don't have to rely on a missile attack at the start. Which, just, I guess, makes it easier to use. Not necessarily better, but easier to use.
I am irresistible.
It's all on very hard battle difficulty.
Great Horned One.
They are probably doing a lot of damage to their own units by bombarding us like that.
Your secrets spill. Rack them with agony.
Bounce Power still looking good, and there's still a few more troops to come in.
Hear the discordant choir. Attack. Sensuous diversions.
Because yeah, this battle would have been so easy if we had just parked ourselves right at their reinforcement zone. They wouldn't be able to use any of their missile attacks. All of their units would have just run off the battlefield really quickly.
The aesthetics are lethal.
Alright, I may have to pull this one out soon. But she's done some decent damage. Yeah, the Blood Reapers are bloody strong. Alright, here we go. Get in there, quick, don't get missed out. Yeah, you got it. Not even gonna worry about the artillery there. Oh, something just did a ton of damage to us. Right, these two here, they're done as far as I'm concerned. Let's move them out.
I am down. I'll make them squeal.
Yeah, one good thing about them is because they're so quick, they can get out of combat when they're exhausted pretty quickly. Oh no, don't worry about doing that. I tell you what, we should probably take out the Grand Cannon. That is probably what's doing that damage to us. Come on, get out of there. Oh, you stuck on... Yeah, you got stuck on a corpse. If we have a look at this one, it probably did a ton of damage to us. Less than I thought it did. Alright, you should be okay now. Alright, I think we can still get one more healing. Most of them are at their max healing. But not all of them. Bounce Power's still in our favor. And there's only a tiny amount more reinforcements to come in. Now, all of this artillery is kind of working against Cathay here. It is doing some damage to us, but it's worth a lot of bounce power and they're damaging their own units. But the thing is, you're never going to be able to get Cathay to recruit an army that doesn't have these units in there. They just are prone to getting Sky Junk and Hell, Fire Rain rockets. Alright, I got a lot of units that need to get out of here real soon. Especially this guy. I feel like a Talisman of Preservation on him wouldn't have gone too bad. But whatever. You're out. So control group 4 there is my benched units. They're gassed out. They gotta sit on the bench.
Cavort and kill.
Got this as well. Yeah, we'll see if it does something to him. Alright, I don't mind using army abilities. I'm almost maxed out anyway. Just not these ones here. Because yeah, by the time you've got these, all of these, like, your campaign is over. Because you can't get it if you've only got like a handful of provinces. You need to have the whole map to get that. Again, I'll explain it when we get out of the battle, which we're looking like we're going to win, but I'm just worried that some of these guys are going to die. Okay, I think I need to take out these fire rain rockets. That's worth a ton of balance of power. It should just inflict the arm blast. So we already got rid of all the terracotta sentinels. I just need this battle to be over now. If you have a look, I'm sure they did a lot of damage to us. Oh yeah, jeez. Maybe I should have gotten rid of them earlier. I suppose when we're that big, it's hard to miss them. Look at this one here. Get out of there. Yeah, W using their spells, it's a waste.
Most alluring.
Come on, you're out. Some of these really need to get out. It's a lot tighter of a battle than it was with the soul grinders. A lot tighter. Yeah, this one here, I gotta get it out of here. Oh, I'm not sure you're gonna survive. Shit, 2 leadership.
All for the prince. I am irresistible. Child.
Could use the Bane Spear, like I said, but it's... Oh, we did actually lose a unit. It's too powerful an ability, and people aren't just gonna get that. So it's not the Bane Spear one-man doom stack. It's Keeper of Secrets, and if we rely too heavily on overpowered abilities, it doesn't properly test these guys out. So I think at this point here, I've still only lost just one of them. God, that army losses must be really close. It's just not being inflicted because we've taken... There we go. Just happened then. Took too much damage. So I think we only lost one of them. This one here is so close. But that was very close. I did go up against 3 full stacks, and I did, to some degree, hold my hands behind my back a little bit. Period victory. So how many did we lose? Just the one. Yeah, just one. So I think it says deployed 21 because this one here counts as 2. Or maybe it's actually the iridescent horror. Doesn't matter. So it's definitely not as good as the Soul Grinder Doom stack. Because with that one as well, I didn't use all my abilities either. It's much quicker though. We got that battle done 10 minutes faster. But also, this army here was not quite as tough as what the Soul Grinders had to deal with. And the Soul Grinders were in much better shape. Yeah, I'm comparing it to the Soul Grinders because that one's fresh in my memory. So I don't think this one here can get a 10 out of 10. It just didn't do as well. It was still good. It was still good because it went up against a lot. Generally speaking, you're not going to go up against 3 full stacks. It's really easy to use. Really easy. But yeah, I don't think it deserves a 10 out of 10. It's probably a 9. I'm going to go 8.5 out of 10 because it's also more expensive. Yeah, maybe 8 or 9 out of 10. I mean, you let me know what you guys think. But it is good. But definitely not the strongest that a Demons of Chaos can yield. I think the big downside to it is it is a bit of a brainless unit. You just send it into melee. If you don't give it some more physical resistance, I'm not sure what else you can do for them. Let me just have a quick look and see if there was better choices here. So that provides melee attack and weapon strength. What they need is more resistances. So that gives them melee defense. But if we went with the Demon Prince, who's dedicated to Slanesh, right? No, Undivided. Right, so if we had him command the army instead, he could have provided them with 15% physical resistance. That would have given them a lot more durability. And he would have reduced... he could have potentially reduced their upkeep cost by a lot if you go with various things. And then looking at the things that he does to boost them. Okay, let's have a look. So, melee attack. Right. And there's weapon strength. Right. Wouldn't give them melee defense like the other Keeper of Secret did. So yeah. I'd say that you could go either way. Physical resistance is definitely very valuable, especially if you're going up against morsel factions, but if you go with the Demon Prince, you get probably cheaper armies, and also the physical resistance. But if you go with the Exalted Keeper of Secrets, and you get the extra melee defense, assuming that they get those extra ranks. So it just depends on what you're going up against. If you're going up against a missile-heavy army, that's physical damage, the the physical resistance would be more useful. If you're going up against melee-focused armies, then the melee defense might be more useful, so you just get hit less often. But yeah, I'm gonna leave this one with an 8 out of 10 because he did a great job boosting it. But there's no way I'm gonna use overpowered weapons like bloody the Bane Spear. That thing just does so much damage, and it's just not readily available to everyone unless you go into the Realm of Khorne. Pff, whatever, do the Soul game, whatever. It's not that good. But yeah, I do like what he did with the Allurus and the Blood Reaper, being able to provide really useful buffs, like the physical resistance one there, and the melee defense. I'd say that one was actually more useful than the Blood Reaper's one, because that gives them more durability, more staying power, because their base melee attack is already really high. You know, giving a unit like 300 melee attack is absolutely useless. You know, when you're at... I think the highest chance to hit is 92%, but when you're at 92% chance to hit, going any higher than that, that's the cap, right? You just can't get any higher. So what you want to do is make sure you've got 92% melee attack chance of hitting, and then also 92% chance of dodging an attack, so having a really high melee defense. So if you've got one stat that's way higher than the other, then that can sometimes be a problem, which is why it's good to have melee attack and melee defense in equal measure if you're doing this kind of thing. It obviously just depends on what you're normally doing. Like, for example, when I'm using a dwarf army in Warhammer 2, I value melee defense because I don't need my melee infantry to have melee attack. I rely on the missile units, but the melee defense just so that they hold the line as long as possible. So it just depends what you need. But in this situation here, you need both melee attack and defense. So I think you did a good job with that. This one here could have done absolutely tons on its own, but we purposely left it out because it would trivialize the battle. You could just rely on the iridescent horror so much. We already know that they can do a ton, and the test was there to test out the Keeper series. So just to iterate one more time. You know, a lot of time people do ask me, you know, why am I not using this in these Doomstack videos, or why am I not using that? Anytime I decide not to use something, it's because it makes the battle too easy. If I'm not using a healer, I think it makes the battle too easy. If I'm not using a specific spellcaster, you know, it's making the situation too easy. If I am using it, it's because the that the army absolutely needed that assistance. So it largely depends on the difficulty of the fight that you go up against, plus the strength of the Doomstack itself. And the rating is based on how easy it is to use, how well it defeats the army, and how much of a crutch I need to lean on other mechanics. Like if I need to use unlimited winds of magic in order to win, well, that's a crutch. I'm not going to rate highly off that. If I need to, overly excessively heal too much, well, then that's a crutch. I have to rely on that, excessively. If I have to hide most of the army for most of the battle or waste enemy ammunition, again, these are crutches. That's going to lower the score. The best Doomstacks are ones that you can just basically use in their most basic form without using super special abilities, apart from, like, obvious ones. Like, you'd use that stuff every single battle. The fact that you've got a Helm of Discord is not difficult to get at all in Warhammer 3. Getting 2 of them, again, not a problem. You probably could have got Tormentor Swords as well. Not difficult to do that because you just fuse items. But the more we have to rely on crutches, the lower the score goes. I hope that makes sense, because sometimes these ratings are not clear. And also, don't forget, number ratings, they're just arbitrary. If you don't agree with their number rating, it doesn't matter. If you like the Doomstack, just use it. If I rate something 3 out of 10, but you think it's fun, then use it. And if you get into a disaster situation, perfect. Send it me in the save file, and I'll bail you out, maybe. Anyway, that's the end of this one here, guys. I'm going to leave this one with an 8 out of 10. It is strong, but it just didn't do as well as the Soul Grinder Doomstack, and I think it's about 2 points lower than that. And I just think it's, for the Legion of Chaos, it's just not really the best you can do. Considering that we've already covered the Soul Grinder of Slaanesh, and I feel like they actually did a little bit better. Anyway, that's the end of this one. Appreciate you guys, and we'll see you next time, fuckers. Bye.